breaking down cultural boundaries, overcoming trauma, and changing direction to become unlimited. This is the Becoming Unlimited podcast with me, your host, Urvashi, aka Ush. Each week, we'll be discussing various ways in which you can be your best self and learn to dance with the universe. We'll also be chatting to some inspirational women from a diverse range of backgrounds, and I too will share some insight into how I changed my life using the universal laws and a lot of healing. So, let's dive in. Welcome to the Becoming Unlimited podcast, a podcast designed to inspire you in your life. Today, I have the pleasure of speaking with Juslena, a mother of 3 beautiful children, a businesswoman, and the mind behind Nashtaa, which is this destination in Langley full of delicious home-cooked food. Juslena is also an advocate of our society accepting real curvy women. She is an inspiration to many, and her story is incredible. So let's dive in. Hey, Juslena, how are you today?
Hi, I'm good. How are you?
I'm really good. I'm really excited to speak with you. Our friendship is really new. So every time we speak, I learn something incredible about you and you inspire me. So I am
Oh,
so excited about the women who are going to listen to this podcast. So, to start us off, I'm going to ask you the first question I ask all my guests. What does it mean to you to be unlimited?
so thank you for having me on. In terms of being unlimited, I would say so it's taken me a long time to get to that point where I've thought, oh, I'm unlimited, or find that word more positive. So I
Mm,
feel now that I am capable of anything. I can do things that my white counterparts or other people can also do. I feel I can do that as well now, and I don't feel as
mm,
scared. So I think in terms of being unlimited, it's how you perceive it as well.
yeah.
So before I never used to think I could do so. I never ever dreamed I'd have my own business, ever. And I've always thought I'll do a 9 to 5 and I'll be working. Whereas now, like doing Nashtan, what I've achieved in Nashtan, how much so many people say to me like what I've done, and it's just I've realized that yeah, you can be unlimited in terms of you can achieve your dreams, and there's no limit to what you can achieve.
That's incredible. So you just said that you never dreamed of running your own business. Now, I want to kind of find out why this is. Obviously, you're a woman of Asian descent. Now, my question is, do you feel that growing up you didn't have that support in terms of from the people around you or that inspiration of others in your life that maybe had run a business?
I think for me, it wasn't about not having support in terms of
Mm,
business. Business was just never there in terms of like it was
mm,
always get your degree, get a really good job. Get your degree, get a really good job. So
yeah,
that was my mindset from like day one. Like
yeah,
study, you have to get a degree, education.
yeah,
Because my parents are both working people.
yeah.
So, we have had business here and there in our family, but it's never been a positive experience, to be
Okay.
honest. So I think they preferred me to be safe and secure in a job, a
Yeah,
9 to 5, as we all know. But a lot of us, before we take that step into business,
yeah,
it is the safety of our 9 to 5 that we can't let go of. So I think I never thought, yeah, I would have a business because it just didn't seem, I felt like business was always scary to me because, it was only when I married a husband, they've been in business for a long time, his family. And it's such a positive thing for them in terms of business has always been successful. They've always, yeah,
mm,
they've had ups and downs, but they've kind of put themselves back. And it was only when I got exposure to all that, oh, actually, like, quite, you get a lot of freedom in terms of financial freedom or just
yeah.
time management and everything like that. Because I was struggling a lot in my 9 to 5, where because I lived in Slough and going to Canary Wharf, traveling, I'd have to, take me 2 hours to get there before the
Wow.
Elizabeth line.
That's a
Before the
distance,
Lizzie
isn't it?
line. Yeah, I
Before the
know.
Lizzie line.
And back I'd be home by 9 p.m. and I'd be exhausted. I couldn't do anything.
Mm,
And I was like, how am I going to fit kids into this life? So I think like that's where it kind of slowly I started getting more exposure to business and it started appealing to me. But the thing with that was where we have our like cultural barriers.
yeah.
We women who are like married or with kids, they're not seen as business women. And that was a big hurdle for me, especially because
Mm,
it was like, well, how are you going to do a business? How are you
yeah.
going to do business? So it was just kind of at that stage. And I hadn't actually, this was obviously before I had my children.
Yeah.
So I just left it really. That's, yeah, what
Yeah.
happened.
Okay. So it's interesting you brought up kind of our parents and this whole thing around security and, having a degree and getting a job and a 9 to 5. And, like I found, especially parents, I'm first generation born. I believe you are as well, aren't you? Of immigrant parents,
Yeah,
they came to this country to give us a better life.
yeah.
But to them, that better life was being comfortable in like an institution. So, even for me, like this is my fourth business that I have. Like my parents think I'm crazy at times. Like I jump from business to business, like, but it's never a complete jump. It's always like the next step of my business, right?
Growth. It's growth, right?
It's complete growth, absolutely. So, do you think that this is something that affects most Asian women who want to start a business, that, they have this battle with their immigrant
Oh yeah.
parents?
100%. It's not even just the parents. It's obviously, well, the parents and the in-laws as well. Like,
Mm,
because a
mm,
lot of people think once they get married, okay, that's it. We can't really do anything or have kids. That's it. But it's fighting that kind of like stigma that, oh, you need to be at home cooking and cleaning and doing the housework and doing this and doing that and not be focused on things. Or if you do want to work, you work in an office, you have a 9 to 5, and that's fine. And I think in that way, a lot of women do feel the fear. I've had a lot of people message me themselves like saying, how you've got kids and like, how do you do everything? How do you
mm.
work and how do you do this? And I have got a good support system. And my parents, like my husband, he supports me in the business as well. So it's always been a kind of issue for a lot of the male relatives as well in our cultural society. And I think the women, they're really happy for us, but they're a bit scared and they're kind of like, I think they wish they could have done stuff, but they have that fear
Yeah,
factor. And
yeah,
so they're really encouraging. Like, at the beginning, to be honest, even my mother-in-law said to me, she was like, "Oh, why are you having a business right now? Your kids are so small. Like, just wait till they grow up." And I'm like, "Wait for what? Like,
yeah.
I'm young enough now. Like, what am I going to wait for? Oh, your kids are so young. You're not going to see them. That kind of thing."
Yeah, but that's, I guess, what they did, right? They put their lives on hold,
Yeah, hundred
and
percent.
moving to this country, having children, we were their purpose. Whereas
Mm.
now they've given us this opportunity to be educated, and our purpose is now completely different. Whether we went to high school, university, or not, our purpose is so different to theirs. Theirs was to give us that foundation, I believe, anyway.
Yeah. Whereas I thought my purpose was literally get married, get my job, get married straight away, and then have a family. That's it. I never
It
thought any bigger.
wasn't
Which when I
enough,
think
was it,
about it, I'm like,
though?
oh my, no, it was never
Mm.
enough. Even when I used to work, and I worked for some of the top companies in the country, like PwC,
Yeah,
EY, Google. But any time that I always exceeded what I was doing, I was always like, doing really well. But again, I wasn't able to progress as I wanted to progress because,
yeah,
there'd be like parts, cultural differences in other people
yeah,
who would, step ahead of me. Even though I would
yeah,
work harder, I would be, but they firstly they wouldn't like it because of my age
yeah,
and being Asian as well. Yeah, that was
yeah,
a massive thing in these old kind of time
yeah.
white companies, basically.
Absolutely, absolutely. So, did you feel there was a lot of prejudice against you as
Oh,
an
100%.
Asian woman trying to make it up the ranks?
100%. In one of my companies, actually, I had a really supportive Asian manager. He always supported me and he always tried to encourage me to do more. But even he was like, what the hell? Like, you're doing so well, but you're not able to get the promotion. And it was women who were like older, as well as
Mm,
women as well, who'd be older and obviously from a white background or whatever, and just not let me progress. And,
mm,
because they would be my team leaders and they would be the ones who'd have to approve it. And
yeah,
I knew I was really, and I knew I was more. I knew I could do more. But I just didn't know what I was capable. I was like, well, if I can't get promotion now, I can't grow in this company. What is for me then? What am I supposed to be doing? Like,
yeah.
and then I moved to another company. So I worked for a company who contract for Google,
Mm,
and I worked there. And then I fell pregnant with my third child.
yeah.
And it was during that pregnancy actually. I was working, and I remember I was having like a tea break at 10, like because when you're pregnant, you get hungry all the time. I literally went into the
I look
kitchen for
forward to
some
that, by the
toast.
way. I look forward to being hungry all the time. I love food.
Yeah. I literally went to have some toast and they came up to me and they were like, you can't do that. You're not on your break. You're not. And I was like, are you joking? I'm pregnant.
What?
And I'm having a literal 5 minutes to just shove something down my mouth. And I actually got in trouble for that. And I was like, you know what, this is too much. Like,
And they knew
I
you were
am not.
pregnant at the
Yeah,
time?
yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah. Then I was pregnant. And I was like, okay, this is not okay. Like, it's not okay for me to be in a situation where I'm pregnant. They can't even give me 5, 10 minutes, and I have to be at my desk the whole time. I'm not
Mm,
actually at my desk. So it just kind of gradually from there, I started seeing, okay, I don't want to be here. Don't want to be. Then I
yeah.
took maternity, and then COVID happened, and once COVID happened, we were in COVID. I had my third child, and then he was a few months old, and we got this opportunity. Well, we found out that there's the hotels being made in my house.
Yeah. And you had
So
an awakening, right? So
yeah,
you
yeah,
went from this container of being like held back by male, pale, and stale,
and,
right? To completely expanding your life in the lockdown. So give us the background behind Nashta and how that actually happened and how it happened in lockdown of all things.
so yeah, so basically, I was on maternity, and we just moved to our new house as well,
Mm-hmm.
and because we moved just before the lockdown happened. So during that time, we found out there was a hotel just
Mm.
up the road, and they needed someone to do breakfast. Because I was home and I was kind of like, so I'd finished my maternity and I was going to gradually go into furlough because it was
Yeah.
that kind of time, right? So I was like, well, I can do it. I'm not really doing much. I kind of get bored. So I said that I'll do the breakfast for the hotel, and they were like, okay, well, how about you do this? You come up with a because they were like, what's your ideas? And I was like, oh, I don't really know, but so I kind of like thought, okay, what I need to do is, they said, come up with like a brand, come up with a menu, and come back to us. So I said, okay. In the
Oh.
meantime, in the background, I was doing a course about body positivity, and it was an online course. I was actually doing it
Mm.
with Neat Nutrition, Neat.
We love neat.
Yeah, and I was doing it with her, and a lot of stuff started coming out because we were doing all this work, vision boards and other stuff, which
Yeah.
nothing was actually relating to my body. It was not about my body positivity. Like I think when I realized it was other things, like for example, doing something like having my own restaurant, doing all this stuff started coming out because I got into meditation and
Yep.
all that kind of stuff. So
Yep.
I kind of got exposed to that world. And when I did my vision board, I don't know where it came from, but literally I had pink flowers, I had a cafe, just all this kind of stuff, which I have in Nashta
Wow.
now.
Yes.
Literally, my vision board was Nashta was on my vision board. And
That's incredible. And can I ask when you designed this vision board of yours?
this was when I 2019, 2020, probably
Okay.
2020, I think. Yeah, it was
Yeah. And then
2020 because it was
Nashta,
yeah,
when do you launch Nashta?
Nashta was launched in December 2020. Yeah,
Wow.
this is
So it
early.
went from
Yeah,
this to that really quickly.
yeah. So yeah, and it was weird because it just kind of happened, and my vision board was in front of me every day. I'm
Yeah.
always looking at it, and then I was like, okay, this is what I definitely want to do. I created a menu,
Yeah.
and I wanted to give like I've always been passionate about food, always.
Yes.
So for me, it was giving something. I feel so happy when people eat my food and they love it.
Mm.
So I wanted to do recipes and do a menu that you can't really get anywhere. Like
Yeah.
the home food we eat, we can't get it outside. But
No.
I wanted to do something like that. So that's where it came from. That's where it stemmed from. It's a very simple menu, but it's stuff we just have at home.
Yeah, it is an incredible menu. And it's like you gave your menu to the universe, and the universe provides you an opportunity. And then you created a menu for all of us who we
Yeah.
literally, like, I've been to Nashta now like 3 or 4 times, and I'm planning on coming again.
Oh,
And last time I went, it was incredible because I was like, I really want saag paneer. And I remember talking to you and saying, it's not on the menu, but they'll make it if you ask. And I was like, I can't ask. Like. So I went
yeah,
in
yeah.
and I asked, and oh my God, it was one of the best saag paneers I have
Oh,
ever
I forgot
had.
to ask you about that. That's good. That's good to
Yeah, it was
know.
beautiful. It was creamy. It was exactly what I needed. Like saag paneer is my
Oh,
go-to when I want like desi food. But
yeah.
not many places make it very well. So
Oh,
yay
that's
for
good.
Nashta.
Yeah.
So
Oh, that's
listen,
good to know.
yeah. So Juslena, you just mentioned body positivity, and it's obvious you're a tall woman, you're a broader woman, you're a curvy woman. As a desi curvy broader woman like myself, how did you find people reacted to you? Life was for you. Tell me a little bit about that.
So yeah, from a young age, I've not been like I feel like accepted, or I've not had acceptance. I
Mm,
felt in society mainly because I have been taller than other girls. I'm not
mm.
petite. I am broader. I'm not. I don't look like the normal kind of what's the norm, right?
Yeah. What is normal?
And yeah, exactly. And I always thought I was wrong. Like what I am is not how I'm supposed to be, right? So I always thought that. and I just kind of I did live with it, just got on with life, whatever. And but then as I've gotten older, obviously, and seeing like other people how it's affected social media, how it's portrayed, and and I have always lived with it. I thought, you know what, okay, it is what it is. What am I going to do, little old me? But then when it comes down to it, and then when I've been exposed now and I had Nashtaa and everything like that, I've realized there's so many people out there who are in the same boat. So many
Yeah.
people go through the same thing, and they've been through the same thing, and they're still suffering trauma from it. And it is a lot in our generation because of the older generation, because they got their own trauma as well
Hmm.
from those body images, colorism, even. I remember I was given Fair and Lovely when I was younger. Like, look
Were
at her.
you?
Yeah.
Oh my God, no. I never had facial bleach, Fair and Lovely, but I did have it's gonna sound crazy, hair bleach.
Yeah.
Jolene
Yeah, I
on
had
my
hair
upper
bleach.
lip.
Jolene, yeah, me too. Jolene all the way.
And you end up having this
You
like ginger upper lip, right?
Yeah.
And that adds to everything, right? Because
Yeah,
like
it
you're
does.
tall, you're big, and now you have a ginger upper lip.
Yeah, it's true. Oh gosh, but yeah, that's what I mean. It's not just me, and that's the thing. What I realized, there's so many people going through the same thing.
Yeah.
When I just thought it was just me, it's just happens to me. There's something wrong with me.
And the reason you thought that way though is because actually we didn't have access to social media. We didn't know what
Mm,
was going on outside the world. When we were growing up, it was like the 80s. Like we didn't even have mobile phones. We used to
yeah,
wind up tape players with a pencil, tapes with a pencil, and
yeah,
walk around with the massive Sony Walkmans on our hips.
yeah. It's true.
Like we don't
Yeah,
know
it's
what
true.
what else is out there in the world. So I completely, I was in the same boat. I completely get that.
Yeah, and then like very recently, I did this catwalk for real.
Mm,
It was called the Bold and Beautiful Catwalk, and I felt really empowered actually, and it was just so good to finally just kind of be like out there and be like, you know what, it is what it is. This is what I am, and accept me for who I am, and I'm proud of
mm,
who I am because
mm.
not many people do it, and it's not enough of us do it, and not enough of us accept ourselves as we are,
No.
and that is all to do with the cultural, the society, what they put in, what they kind of feed us with, basically.
Yeah.
And that's why, like, with the intergenerational trauma, it needs to stop with us because the more we portray, like, I don't want my daughter thinking, because she is taller, she's going to be tall.
Yeah.
Her feet are a bit bigger than other girls her age, but I don't want her thinking that's not normal. Like,
No.
for me, I've never said, oh, and, anything negative towards that side of her. She just completely thinks it's normal, which is how it
Good.
should be.
Yes.
And it's so important for me to be aware of that, and other people maybe in our generation who have children, for us to make them aware that that is
Yeah.
completely normal.
Yeah, because we're not going to be able to get the older generation to stop saying things like, "Oh, you have such a pretty face. If only you were smaller." Or,
Mm.
like, "How are you going to find a man? You're so tall. It must be so hard for you." That's never going to happen. We
Yeah,
can't change them, but we can change how we react and how we bring our daughters up in this world, really.
yeah, yeah. Because that's what was said to me. Like, you're not going to be able to get married. You're too tall. You're going to find a really, really tall boy. Like, who's going to marry you? And all this kind of stuff. And it was kind of
Mm,
like a bit scary. And I think a lot of that is to do with maybe why, like when I met my husband, I was like, oh my God, someone actually likes me, someone loves me. Like, oh my God, like it was such a big deal, because
yeah.
I never have valued myself in that way.
Talk to me about your value now, though.
But now I feel I'm my own person. I'm capable of so much more than I thought I was, and I've got so
Mm,
much in me. Like I'm able to like manage my house, manage the kids, and obviously with the support system,
yeah.
my business, and juggle all these things, and still, because that was another thing people were like to me, oh, you're gonna neglect your kids will get neglected, you're not gonna see them, and but I try my utmost, like consciously best to make sure I give enough time to the kids.
Yeah.
So I have staff in place, so I can give that time to them. And that's the whole
Yeah.
point of the freedom of time.
Yeah.
That is one thing in life you can't buy is time,
No,
you
not
know?
at all.
Yeah, and so that is so important to give that time to them now.
Yeah.
And I always make sure I do. And as well as that, don't get me wrong, I'm probably sometimes I'm just like, oh my God, what is having breakdowns like all the time. But I kind of get myself through with I do a lot of healing,
Yeah.
which until as well. We do the healing circles, which I
Yeah.
love, and that's helped me
Yes.
so much.
My favorite are the
And
cacao ceremonies.
yes, that, honestly, that's
Love
helped me
them.
so much. And I always say to her, thank you so much because it's
Yeah.
done so much for me. And more than you realize how much it does for you, it does. And I've meditation and things like all this kind of
Mm.
stuff, just kind of helps me navigate my way and manage everything.
Mm. And so when I look at you, you've done this bold and beautiful catwalk. You're technically now a plus size model. You looked incredible you were wearing desi outfits, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I do remember seeing that. And how did you feel dressed up? Because when I was younger, as a 5'9" girl, average size 14 then, obviously a little bit bigger now, it was really hard to find desi outfits, so lingas and all that kind of stuff. So hard. And then you'd go to a desi shop in like Southall or Wembley, and they'd be like, "Oh, you're extra, 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 extra
Yeah.
large." I'm like, what does that mean? I'm a size
Five
14. How?
XL,
Yeah,
five XL.
I'm 5XL. I'm really not that big, and I fit into a River Island 14. Please. It
That's
affected
exactly
me
how it
quite a
was.
lot.
Yeah. No, but even with me, like I remember even in India, when one time to a shop and they were just like, no, 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 there's nothing for you here. I was like, I'm just literally walked in. No, no, no. I'm just like, oh my God. Yeah,
Wow.
it was really bad. Obviously, they had no filter
Wow.
anyway, but
Yeah, they
and
don't have filter.
and here everything always had to be made to measure, made to
Yeah.
measure, made to measure. You can just not last minute pick up an outfit and just oh, it'll fit me. Whereas now, like, yeah, it was an Asian outfit. It was her Nim's boutique. She did the outfits, and obviously Velvet Rani did it as well. And another company which does really nice, Shani London,
Yes.
she does a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
So, and they literally can, with Nims, you can just go there, pick a blouse, and it's already in your size. Like, so
Is
good.
it?
Yeah,
Wow, that's incredible.
yeah. So she
So she's
has
doing them
like
to kind
sizes.
of quote unquote Western sizing.
She does it up to size 24. Yeah.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, she does it
Okay.
to Western sizes. Yeah, so it's really like now when you see the changes that are coming slowly, it's kind of really like, you know what, it's about time. We need this. What
Mm.
I'm waiting for is now when you get the shoes. Because I'm a size 9 feet. So for me, it's like when are we gonna get shoes like, Indian shoes that are suitable for
They
my
don't go over a 5 if I'm like
height?
correct. Like maybe a 6 if you're lucky. Like I'm a
Yeah.
size 6.5, 7, and
Yeah.
no, no.
But it's
Yeah.
that's the next step now. I'm like, okay, so when's that?
Yeah.
Because even that, I had to go to I couldn't just get them from the lovely market in Patiala and pick them all up. I had to get them made. And even when you get your stuff made, it's like restricted. You're like, I can't buy normal stuff. What's wrong with me? You know?
Yeah. Yeah.
But I have like to be fair though, to the shops here nowadays, they do have the bigger sizes, the female
Yeah.
sizes as well, so which is good, really good.
Yeah.
But it's going to take a bit of time for our like society to catch up.
It
But
will though, and I think the
yeah,
reason it will catch up is like people like Shani London and Nim's
yeah,
Boutique and other companies the like. They're realizing that actually we're
yeah,
not just one petite, tiny little Indian lady. We are a whole range, and we go from a 5 foot nothing to like 6 foot. We go from a
yeah.
size 0 to a size 24 or more.
Exactly. Especially after having kids. Can you imagine? Like even like, and I think what it is as well. Like nowadays, mums they do want to look good. They do want to look nice.
Yeah,
Not like how before. Our mums be like, "Oh, to look queen, that's all right." Like it's more important about the kids, but it's not. It's important about us as well. Like we're not just gonna sit home and just wear whatever and do whatever. Do you know what
no,
I mean? We want to look nice. We want to look
yeah,
good. We want to have outfits that look nice. So I think like that's changing as well.
yeah,
And that's how like all these people now they're adapting to the sizes. Because obviously people do get bigger. Usually, not many people lose a baby weight, as you
yeah,
know. But yeah, so I think it is changing, and I'm glad to
yeah.
see it.
And the thing is, like being able to wear those nice clothes and being able to look good and feel good, even as a mum, you don't want ulti down your like joggers,
Yeah,
all the time, right? So like even as like a brand new mum or a mum of a 5, 6 year old, like being able to do that kind of self-care and look good gives you your self-worth, right? And it
yeah,
makes you love yourself more. And I think it's
yeah,
really important that people cater to people like you and I and other, slightly curvier, bigger, taller women out
yeah.
there in our culture.
And also, you can't fill from an empty cup. Like you
No.
need to be fulfilled yourself in order to be the best version of yourself for your children, for your family, for your partner. And that's what I've actually come to realize that
Mm,
unless I can make myself happy, keep myself healthy, keep myself well, I can't be the best version of myself to everybody else.
no. And that's seen as quite selfish still in society, wouldn't you
Oh
say?
yeah,
When a woman looks after
100%.
herself.
Especially in our society. Oh
Yeah.
yeah, it's always like, well, like sometimes I get it about the healing circle. Oh, but why do you need to go? Like your kids, it's a Sunday and your kids need you. They've got school the next day. well, the kids have a dad as well, so it's
Yeah.
fine. And that's my thing. Like, why do the men not have to take that much responsibility? Like, why is it if they were going on a business trip or whatever, it's fine. That's fine. But if we as mothers want to go on a business trip for 5 days, oh my God, it's such a big deal.
Yeah.
That's where I've started saying, well, I'm sorry, I don't care. This
Yeah.
is what I'm doing. And it's taken me a long time to find my voice as well, to be honest, because I've always just kind of gone with it and just been like, okay, like, I'm not a very dominant person. I'm just quite submissive, and I just kind of be like, okay, it's fine. Whereas
Mm.
now I feel like, well, why should I? Why am I doing that? Why am I doing it to myself? And I'm just suppressing it inside myself.
Yeah.
But now I kind of say no, and I say, no, this is what I'm doing. And at the end of the day, it's in the betterment of the children anyway, long term.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So
And I know that you've started putting yourself first in terms of you're going on these retreats, you're going on business sessions and, meeting incredible women and expanding your network. I don't think it's selfish at all. Like, it's something I do. Like, how are we meant to grow if we're held back by just
yeah,
being family women?
yeah,
Right?
yeah. And
Yeah.
there's why can't we do both? We can do both. We
We can
can
do
be family
everything.
women and also have our own growth and our own
Yeah.
happiness and our own, outside the home as well. So it's
Yeah.
not, I just feel like it's been so unfair on women, like,
Mm,
especially in our society. And now, we should change perspectives. Like, why can't someone have a business and have 3 kids at home? Why? Like, good for
exactly.
you if you can. You should do it.
And be a
Yeah.
women's advocate.
Absolutely. Always. Oh, and I love supporting women and I love supporting women in small businesses. And
Yeah.
I always say to I'm always there for you. I'm always there for everybody. If anyone, I try and use my platform as best I can, like,
You do.
my, where I can promote what I do, because I have that belief that there's so much out there for everyone,
Yeah.
so and why can't you share it to the world? I love doing it.
Yeah. The universe is abundant, right? Just because someone else is getting abundant doesn't mean we're not going to get it. And just because we
Exactly.
are doesn't mean someone else is not going to get it. But actually, us
Yeah,
helping someone else brings us both up together, right? So
yes.
collaboration over competition,
Competition. Yeah.
always for me.
Always. And me.
Yeah.
Always.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just hope the rest of the world sees that nowadays, but not everyone does. But
No. And I think
me,
that the competition mindset is a very old school, last generation mindset. But, all the women I've met of late have been incredible. Like, it's all about collaboration. It's all about bringing each other up, especially now in this like new paradigm where we're not all institutionalized anymore. And we need that community and we need that support system from outside our
definitely. Oh
families.
yeah, and I think the way the women support each other is amazing. Like the
Yeah.
way we do advocate each other is so good. I love it. Our little community that we have going on,
Yeah.
with all our small businesses and everyone supporting each other is so good. Like again, an exchange of energy as well, and it's
100%.
so good.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Yeah. Gone are the days of being pitted against each other for a man's
yeah.
attention, right?
Oh God,
Don't need
long
that.
gone. No,
Long gone are those days. Thank you
yeah.
very much.
Now it's like,
So,
let's go on a girls' trip. Let's go somewhere.
oh,
Get
talking
the
of
men.
girls' trip, I am planning a beautiful girls' trip to Thailand in April next year. So, fingers
I'm
crossed you
in.
can make
I'm
it.
in. I'm already in.
You're already in. Amazing. So, obviously, we know how you started Nashtaa and it was on your vision board. But is there a purpose behind the brand you've created?
There is actually. So originally, my story behind it was to create something for mums and women around Slough, the local
Mm,
area, to go and just enjoy something nice in a nice setting. So there was nothing local like there. We've got Costa, and that's about it really.
yeah.
So when I was pregnant and I had the little one and I had my other kids went to school and I was like, okay, what am I doing with my time? I'll meet my friend for my coffee. Okay, where are we gonna go? There's nowhere else. Unless you want to go to Windsor or whatever, but as
Yeah.
locally, you want something where it is something there. So I think that was a massive thing for me. Like, and my target market was mums and women
Yeah.
because I wanted to have a place for them where they feel comfortable as well to bring their babies and their children. And they say that to me that, you know what, at least the kids can run around and we're fine, that we don't feel stressed about it because I have children and I know how it feels. So I
Yeah.
made sure I had a really good children's menu as well. And I really catered for kids, catered for the mums, had lovely teas and coffees and a
Yeah.
beautiful setting with like flowers and everything. And it just gives them that time to like have a little like nice little natter and just have
Mm.
something good to eat as well, like home feeling.
Yeah, and not have to sit in a coffee shop, which you feel like once you finish your coffee, you kind of have to leave. Whereas you can just
Yeah.
sit, enjoy the environment, the
Yeah.
decor, the food. It comes out when it's ready, it's piping hot,
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
tell me, what's the best thing or the most bought thing that people love on your menu?
Oh my gosh, that is so hard. You know what? I actually went through my breakfast menu and I was like, there's nothing I can take off this menu. Everything sells. But I'm not even joking when I say to
Really?
you, someone will buy a breakfast, they'll both buy breakfast if there's two people. They'll also get pronto as well. Or they'll get like chole bhature, but they'll get pronto as well. So it's
Really?
like, yeah, yeah, yeah. So it's like there's not even one thing. Or they'll get chili cheese toasty as well as a
Oh,
meal. So there's
that chili
always
cheese
like,
toasty. Yes.
so yes, so it's like one of those things where everything it sells really well.
Yeah.
People love our like chole bhature and our kulcha chana. A kulcha in Slough, when I started it, no one was doing kulcha.
Oh,
We were
really?
literally, yeah, the first people in Slough to do it.
Oh,
So,
wow.
and even as a breakfast place, there was no one doing breakfast. Literally, now there's obviously a lot of people doing breakfast, but we're the original, and literally everyone comes back to us and says, no one can beat your taste, no one can beat your food.
Mm.
And, that makes me so happy that people love the food
Yes.
and, like they love coming and they love the menu. So that's why I've not changed the menu because I just think it's concise, it's small, but it does well. People
Mm.
love it,
Are you
you
doing a
know.
desi afternoon tea?
I do. We do have one. We have a desi
Oh,
afternoon tea. We're actually doing a brunch, a bottomless brunch.
okay.
So to celebrate our 2 years. So
Yes.
in
When is
May
this?
this year May, like towards the end of May, is going to be our 2 years. But I'm celebrating. We're doing it in June
Okay.
celebration.
I
But
think you're
yeah,
doing it when I'm in Texas, aren't you? I
yes,
think that's why I can't make it. I know.
yeah,
Great. Thanks, Juslena.
yeah. Sorry, but yeah. So yeah, it's our 2 years anniversary. So yes, for 2 years, and now
Wow, two
obviously
years.
just started as a breakfast cafe. Now I do dinner as well. So we have like a fusion
Yes, you
dinner,
do.
which people love as well.
Mm.
So,
So, do you have plans for expansion?
so I have expanded a bit already in terms of within that one site.
Okay.
So I do we do catering and events. I do a lot of corporate events, and I've done a wedding, done like
Wow.
obviously birthdays. We hold a lot of events in store as well.
Yeah.
And the expansion plan is there. I do want to open another one, probably focusing more on take and delivery. It's
Mm.
more, you know what it is? It's the manpower as well. And because my kids are so small, I don't want to like take myself away too much. So I
Yeah.
want to have enough manpower there that if I'm not around or I can't be around, that I've got people there who are reliable, trustworthy. Because it's taken me 2 years to build up this team. That's one of the hardest things I'd say is staffing
Finding the
and
right
having
people, right?
reliable, yeah.
Yeah.
And the people who believe in your vision and actually have that passion like you do, that's really hard to get.
Mm.
But I think and it's important for me. So it's not just a business for me. Like it is important to have those values because they're kind of core values of my company, I guess.
Yeah.
But you need to have that love for the customer, that
100%.
passion to feed them good food. But yes, I'm looking at doing that maybe, like opening maybe a couple of cloud kitchens or something.
Yeah.
So that would be an option.
That sounds amazing. And you're literally serving with love. And that is, you're doing it in your own way and you are doing it through literal food. And there's coaches out there serving their experiences through love. And, everything we do, even like Nim's boutique or whatever, she's serving with love. She's creating
Mm.
clothes that are with love. And that is what I love about kind of where the world is going right now is that everyone is finding their purpose to serve others and it's making for a beautiful society.
So I hope
So,
our children will be brought up in a beautiful society.
beautiful society, exactly. So, I have one last question, or actually, one last thing to ask you.
Okay.
So, have you got a tip for our listeners to guide them on becoming their most unlimited self or taking the next step? Like, what is the one piece of advice you would give everyone listening today?
I think start meditation, journaling.
Mm,
I feel that when you have that stillness within yourself, you are so much more kind of aligned and focused on what you want to do and what you want to get out of life. And that has been a massive game changer for me. Like
yeah,
just having that time, just the stillness, even if like I do a bit just before I go to bed nowadays, where I kind of just like meditate or whatever, or I try and do some journaling in the morning,
okay.
um, and a bit of meditation in the morning, just 5 minutes even. I've tried the 5 a.m. club. It doesn't work for me, unfortunately. I can't get up.
No.
So Every time I do, I still get up early because of the kids, but then once they've gone, I do my meditation and do my bits then, and it still works.
Yeah,
So if you're worried about, oh, I can't get up early or I can't do this, it's okay. Work it around your life because it's
yeah,
there to serve you, right? You have to make it work for you as well. And I think like vision board, put everything on a vision board. Put it on the vision board and just look at it every day. I have mine in front of my bed, so when I wake
yeah.
up, I literally can see it. And that's how I had the Nashta on. It was literally just in front of my bed, and I'd look at it every single day. And literally, it's the first thing I saw when I got up. I've even got it
That's
on my phone actually as my screensaver.
that's incredible. So what's on your vision board now? Another baby, perhaps?
Oh no, 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 we're done there.
Done.
Yeah, no, definitely opening more Nashtas. And for me, it's more just having a fulfilled and content life.
Yeah,
And having my dream house, my forever house. So yeah, that kind of thing really. So I
yeah.
definitely recommend it. Just journaling is really good. You come up with such amazing ideas. Just write
Mm.
them down.
Yeah, 100%. So you're basically just saying, having that self-awareness of yourself and where you are now, and then the
Yeah,
tools for self-improvement, like the meditation, like the journaling, even things like the ceremonies, the healing, all of
yeah,
these things combined make for a
yeah.
better you, right? But it all starts
100%.
with,
No, I was just gonna say, 'cause a lot of people say, oh, they can't afford or we can't afford it to go there or do this or whatever. There's so many simple apps you can download
yeah,
as well, just to help with that meditation or journaling or whatever. Or you can just pick up a journal and do that from like any shop really, and
100%. Yeah.
make it work for you. But even just going out for a walk and just having that stillness, or listening to a podcast like this one,
Yeah. Yeah,
you know,
I like this one. Yeah, actually, getting outside is so
yeah,
important for us. We need to ground, we need to feel
yeah,
the earth's energy. So, all of these tools, like for some people, they may seem quite woo-woo, but actually, they're
yeah,
not. Like, getting outside is not woo-woo, it's just getting
no,
outside.
yeah,
Try and do it, like, I would say, without a podcast at times as well, or anything in
yeah,
your
yeah,
ears,
yeah,
and
yeah,
just
yeah.
listen,
Even
hear.
meditating is not really woo because it's just meditating doesn't mean necessarily you could be doing your prayers,
Yeah,
you could be doing just not thinking of anything, just doing breath work.
yeah,
That's meditating as well. So it's kind of how you perceive it because it's what it is taking that break from that constant hamster wheel you're on,
yes,
right? Taking yourself out of that and actually thinking, okay, what do I want to do? What am I doing with my what is it? Which direction do I want to go? I think that's important to get yourself away from that. And
yeah,
I was only able to do that because I was on furlough,
yeah,
and that's
yeah.
how I managed to kind of do
I
that.
loved COVID. Just going to put it out there. I didn't love COVID, sorry. I loved the lockdown. Yeah,
Lockdown,
getting
yeah,
outside every day was just amazing.
yeah,
But listen, Juslena, we're going to wrap up now. But can you tell people how they would get in contact with you if they want to find you on social media and any events that maybe you've got running? I know you mentioned the 2-year party. So if you can just like
yeah,
reel it out and people can get in
yeah,
contact with you.
sure. So in terms of if you want to come to the restaurant, have brunch, dinner, or breakfast, we've got so it's on Instagram. It's Nashtaa_Cafe. That's our Insta name, and my personal to see my personal journey and to see what I get up to. It's Juslena Randhawa. That's my Insta name. And we're based, the cafe is based in Langley. So, and we also do events, catering, and everything. So, and once you come and try our food, you love it. So, yeah,
Once you go to Nashta, you never go back, right?
yeah, exactly. And we have
Incredible.
Facebook as
Well,
well. And that, so.
yeah, so Nashta__ cafe, and you can find everything you need to know on there. Do go and check out the food. It is absolutely divine, and try the saag paneer. It doesn't exist on the menu, but you can ask for it. Thank you so much for your time, Juslena. I'm honored
Thank
that
you for having
you
me.
gave me this opportunity to speak to you. And we will catch up soon. What a beautiful episode. I'm so thankful that Juslena joined me to discuss body positivity, the purpose behind Nashta, and how we need to show our young girls that actually we are good enough and to show them to have self-worth. Now, If you're ready to find your purpose, you know what to do. Just contact me, DM me on Instagram, Unlimited Urvashi, or head to the link in my bio and book yourself in for a call. It's no obligation, but it's a really good way to get you started on the path towards your purpose. I will catch you next time, and this is Urvashi for Becoming Unlimited.